everybody. So I've got this parts washer here that I have had for years and I've never been able to use it. So what we're gonna do here today, it's an old Zepp, I don't know, like 90 million gallons maybe. Ignore all the junk. So here's the thing, I've got this parts washer. I wanted to buy the mineral spirits like everybody else uses. Here locally, the stuff is about $12 a gallon. Looking at the size tank underneath here, give it a better shot. That thing's got to be, 20 gallons maybe? I don't know. It's got to take a lot of parts solvent. That's out of my budget. So what we're going to do, I did a lot of research. People all hem and haw about using diesel. Well, I'm going to try it. That cost me like 20 bucks for almost 10 gallons of diesel. And if it doesn't work, I'll pump it back out and it'll go in the turbo heater. So, hang out here. We're going to fill this thing up with diesel and we're going to see if it even works. I hope I don't go through all of this for nothing. That will be not so much fun. So, hang out and watch me fill this thing full of diesel, I guess. The whole purpose of grabbing the gloves I grabbed was so I don't have to touch all the diesel. And looks like we're gonna have to get in there because the stopper is stopped and it's not draining down into the bottom. Kind of the opposite of what I wanted. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Just hoping the thing works. I plugged it in, it makes noises, but I don't know if it pumps anything. A friend of mine gave it to me a couple years ago. He told me it works, but I have never attempted to use it. I just always stored stuff on top of it. I don't have a puddle on the ground, so that's a good thing. Well, we just put, I don't know, almost 5 gallons in there. Let's plug it in and see if anything comes out of the hose. See if I don't get a diesel bath. That'd be awesome. Well, that sounds like it's making a mess. Oh yeah. That definitely covered the wall in diesel. That's not good. Definitely not what I wanted to do. Oh yeah, well it pumps. It's not where it should be. A minute here, let me try and dry up some of this. Alright, well let's plug it back in for a second, see what happens. Move! Oh yeah! That just comes pouring out. Well, that's not good. Maybe this is why it was given to me. Be my luck. I'm dragging it around and it's broken. Let's get a screwdriver and see if we can't get it figured out. It just comes gushing out of the back here. Not even sure why.
Doing things by yourself is usually a lot more fun. You get to struggle twice as much.
Now let's have a look again. This might actually be pretty simple. Let me bring you guys over here and show you. Let me take the gloves off. So, don't mind the light. So if you look down in there, you can see the hose is essentially came off the pump. So all I think we're gonna have to do is reconnect that hose to the pump. That's why it was just spraying out the back here, because the pump's just shooting it straight up in the air, which obviously isn't working. So that must go straight up into the air. And then I'm guessing the other one of these bad lads has got a feed. Okay, so that one there comes up, feeds the filter. The filter goes back down in and feeds the nozzle. So give me a second here. Let me see if I can't put this back together and get myself a pair of regular gloves on instead of them gardening gloves. See how these guys work. I kind of wanted to try them. They're Venom brand from Menards. I was gonna buy a whole box, but I figured buy the small pack. See if they're even worth a damn. They seem really thin. Not always a good thing. I have never seen hose this hard. Look at this. This used to be, where are we looking? Ooh, there we are. So this is just like your braided hose. This stuff's hard as a rock. Oh, damn it. Well, I didn't want to do that.
Serious crap here.
Looks like it's about a ½ inch. I just want to make sure everything's the same size so I can just buy a couple feet. Yeah, we're going to go with ½ inch. So what, probably 2, 3, 4, fuck, damn near 10 feet of this stuff. So much for a cheap power washer deal. Now we got to go get all this new hose. We'll run to the parts store. Probably have to go to Ace Hardware. I'm thinking this is going to be my best bet to find something like this. We'll find out. Gloves didn't do too bad, I'll tell you what. Alright, so we went to the parts store, got some stuff, got it all fixed up. You can see I replaced the one line there on the top. I replaced the one in the tank. Sorry I didn't film that. This is what the stuff is. It's a 5/8 outer diameter, ½ inch inner diameter. Guy at Ace told me that it's rated for gasoline and chemicals, and well, it's basically what was on there. So you plug it in. See the magic of it going through the hose when I plug it in. Oh. Think we might have a working parts washer. I would say that's a working parts washer. What do you think? Alright, give me a second. I'm going to get it pushed up against the wall. We're going to get some more fluid in here. And, I don't know, maybe we'll try to wash something. Alright, let's plug it back in. We've even got this brush here. Oh, man. probably have to put a little bit more diesel in here. You know, let me know if any of you guys have ever tried the diesel thing. At least now that I know this works, maybe in the future I'll buy the mineral spirits and go that route. You know, I just really didn't want to spend all that money. You know, like I said, it's 12 bucks a gallon for mineral spirits. Diesel's $3 a gallon, and it's going to clean parts, and that's all I need the thing to do. So, yeah, I have a feeling I probably need to put some more. You know, this thing's pretty nice. This Zep here, plug that drain. And now if I want to soak something in here, I could soak it. Obviously, I'm going to need quite a bit more fluid in here if I want to soak stuff. Because that thing's going to run out of fluid down there. It's only going to be able to fit so much up inside here. But the worst part is then you got to reach back in and open it up. You know, no matter what fluid you have in your parts washer, wear some gloves. You know, mineral spirits ain't good for you. Diesel's not good for you. Really, none of it's good for you. None of working on cars is really too good for you. So, just clean this thing all up. It's, like I said, it's just had stuff sitting in it forever. You know, this thing's pretty nice though. It's got the filter in the back there. So we'll see. See how long the diesel stays looking like diesel. You know, that'd be kind of interesting. You know, good thing about the diesel too is, okay, yeah, it's gonna leave the parts oily. Yeah, you're trying to clean grease off, but it'll clean the grease off. But at the same time, now I can leave this part sitting here. I don't have to worry about it flash rusting. I don't have to worry about anything weird like that happening. You know, this part can kind of sit and it's going to have oil on it. So, you know, I'm not going to have to worry about like cleaning it with mineral spirits. You've got to clean it, then you got to, if it's going to sit around, you need to soak that thing, spray it with WD-40, something. I know, it's entertaining watching me clean this, I'm sure. This thing's dirty. It'll be nice to start with a nice clean surface in here. Alright everybody, so this is what we got going on now. I'm going to pull off all the brackets, the exhaust manifolds, all this EGR air pump crap that's on here. Get this thing ready so we can start degreasing it. Alright, so we're going to get all the brackets and everything pulled off of here. So we can start degreasing those if we got to use them. Now we got the parts washer working. We got some parts already over there soaking. We've got the push rods, things like that. Because the whole thing of this is not to really spend any money. Got the gasket set. Waiting on one part that should be here Monday. Got an intake over on the shelf. And then we're going to slap this thing together. We're still got to figure out a color for it. If anybody wants to comment on a color I should use, right now, color is going to be green. Whole deal is going to be green and black, unless you guys have a better idea. So yeah, let me go ahead and start unbolting some stuff.
Yeah, I'm still got the compressor hooked up, so obviously I'm going to do everything by hand, which is awesome. For now, we'll just throw all the bolts here in the valley. Little small black Chevy, everything hopefully will come off and not break. All these brackets are for factory air conditioning, so this stuff will probably end up going up for sale online because what this thing is going in doesn't even have a body, so we don't have to worry about air conditioning. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I need to cut the hose.
That is the crossover for the old air pump system that this engine had. Give me a second, we'll go get a cutter. Oh yeah, it's nice and oily. That can stay down there. Alright, looks like we got one more bolt and this side manifold should be off. look at that stuff. That was GM's brilliant idea. Let's inject air back into the exhaust to try and help burn the unburned fuel. Part retarded if you ask me. This motor ran really good when it was in the El Camino. Kind of funny considering it's got a platinum plug on it, which definitely should not have been on a car that had points ignition. That's definitely didn't have the power to be firing those things. So it probably would have ran even better if it had a correct spark plug in it. We'll get these heat shields off here. Looks like they're about a 1/2 inch. Everything else so far has been a 9/16. That's pretty standard on most Chevy stuff. Yeah, it fell right off. It's been dying to come off of there. That one we're going to need a wrench for. That's a 7/16 wrench. See if we can't get in here. If not, we'll pull this motor mount. Motor mount's got to come off anyways. Looks like we got it. I hate these things. They're like working around razor blades. Of course, this one don't want to slide out like the other one. Exhaust valves are bright white. I'd say this thing may have been running a little lean. Pretty gnarly looking. We're going to leave the plugs in it. Like I said, maybe we'll pull one just to see what they look like. Let's get this motor mount pulled off. That's a 9/16 also. It's only 3 bolts. We'll clean these up just to have them, but I have a new set of motor mounts. This thing is going to have a completely different setup on it. They're solid mounts made for the application that it's going to be going in. It's kind of funny, obviously these Bosch plugs have been in here for quite a while. So obviously somebody had done a spray can tune-up on here once upon a time. There's paint on this Bosch Platinum, which should not be in this engine. Gasket. Get that junk out of there. One side stripped out. Did I leave oil in this thing? Yeah, looks like it's got a little something. Alright, pull this front bracket off of here.
Strip down, look like a small block should here if it hurts.
Get that off, set it down over here. Alright, let's spin this thing around so you guys can watch the excitement. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll get all this stuff off of this side. Same process.
Alright, so I'm trying to get these ones off. There's the one little one hooked up just to kind of hold on to it.
Alrighty. There we go, those are off. Obviously I stole this motor mount for something. I don't know what. Right, we'll slam these guys off of here.
The wire's off.
Alright, she's pretty much stripped down now. let's go and have a look. Now here's a better look at our small block that we're dealing with. It is crusty. I mean, have a look at that. It did run until that timing chain gave up. You know, and obviously since this is an old school motor, it's not interference, so it's basically just clean it up, put a new timing chain on it. I'm going to do a little bit of research because, yeah, check out what we got going for a heater today. Piece of beam on top of the heater. It's a radiant heater. So, looking around, yeah, look at all these parts we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 sets of small block heads back here. Got 1, 2, 3 small blocks, a Pontiac 350. But back to where I was going. Okay, I got this here. This is a brand new timing chain that I had put on this motor. I want to see if these are the same timing chains. This one's a roller motor. This was out of my Suburban. It's a 4-bolt main roller motor. Ended up spinning a bearing, so I would love to use that in the future. I got some really I got some really good pistons that I could use in this engine. They're like 14-to-1 stock bore pistons, so that would make that a really cool engine. But I'm gonna see if I can use that timing chain because that'll save me a whole bunch of money. Not really, they're under 20 bucks. You can get one, but I got that one. Got that one there is out of a 70 Chevelle, I believe. And the one way back in the corner is another identical to this, but only 2-bolt main roller motor, Vortex style motor. So that one, that's a 468. That I want to make into a 496 eventually. I'll probably put it in one of the race cars. Some big block heads, turbo 375, turbo 350. Look at this parts washer. We already got some things in here. Found a timing cover I didn't know I had. Found a balancer I didn't know I had. That's money saved. And this is full of all the push rods. Figured we'll let those soak. So back over to here. Oh, look, isn't that timing chain beautiful? Just shredded. Yeah, that's awesome. So we got a pile of bolts from things. Yeah, I mean, this motor is pretty nasty, but like I said, even in stock form, we can at least use it to get this thing together, have some fun with it. I do have a cam that might end up in it, I'm not sure yet, because then I need valve springs, and I don't want to spend that money. Plus, this has only got push-in studs. Some heads, you know, a good set of heads. This stud right inside here is a thread-in stud. These are push-in. So if I want to change that out, then I gotta spend more money. You know, then I'm getting into building a motor. If I'm building a motor, I want to have like 200 bucks into this thing. The carburetor will be the most expensive thing we buy for this engine. So if I'm spending more than that, I'd be putting an LS on this in this project. You know, we'll get a 5.3 and a 4L60 for dirt cheap. So we're gonna stick with the small block, turbo 350. We're just gonna have fun. All right, so now it's time to bust out our oven cleaner. You can see here I put a little bit of some plastic on the floor. It's not super cold out, but it's cold enough out. I mean, we're only at, I don't know if you can see that from here. We're at 46 in the garage right now, so yeah, it's still a little cold. So put some plastic down to catch some of the crap that's gonna fall. I'm gonna start oven cleaner in it, start scrubbing it, let it soak. You know, it's gonna take a couple pans to get this thing clean. Quite a bit of elbow grease. I could just try and power wash it. That would probably help a little bit. But like I said, it's cold out and I don't feel like going outside. So let's get to just soaking this thing down. I'm not worried about getting it on the top of the engine or in the head here, because eventually it's all going to get rinsed. So we're going to get everything clean, try and clean up whatever sludge and junk we can. You know, we're trying to degrease this thing as good as we can. I guess we've got a bracket on there, didn't we? So the best thing to do, you want to spray this on, get a good foamy coat. Forget about it. Just let it sit. You'll see the stuff already starting to run off. You see the grease already starting to run. And now tell me that that doesn't look exactly like what you would buy from AutoZone or wherever that says gum out or, you know, AutoZone engine degreaser. I'm telling you, this was an old man told me this years ago. So just buy oven cleaner, same thing. Especially when you get these cans here, $1 a can, you know, at your local dollar store. Oh yeah, it's pretty thick still. Sometimes you just gotta spray it, you gotta work it, you gotta spray it, you gotta work it. It's the only way you're gonna get this stuff off. It's nice to start with a nice, clean engine to work with. And there's no clean way of doing this. You use a power washer, you end up with stuff everywhere. You do it like this. At least we've got the plastic down to try and catch some of it, but this isn't a perfect process.
I'm gonna go ahead and just spray the rest of this can on here. I got 6 or 7 cans, so I need more, I'll go get it. I really want this stuff to soak in.
Alright, so we're one can down. You can start to see, you're almost starting to see orange. It's amazing. Just keep spraying it on here and scrubbing it off. I've been using that steel wool type scouring pad. It's been working pretty good. Other than that, I'll use these brushes. They work pretty good also. It's really just a tedious process. If only there was an easier way. Alright. You can see this side, that took about half an hour or so of scrubbing at it. You know, spray it, soak it, scrub it, spray it, soak it, scrub it. But we're getting somewhere. You can see orange. That was black before. Come over here to the other side. Remember what it looked like. Look at how black this thing was. The other side might have even been worse than over here. I know the valves look nice and, I don't know, would you call that lean, maybe? Not sure. It ran, though, so we'll go with that. But yeah, this thing is nice and crusty. We're going to keep working on it. I don't think I'm going to bore you guys with any more of me scrubbing the engine. So, next thing we'll see is once we pull the pan off, I don't know if this motor is a 2-bolt or a 4-bolt main. I would imagine that it's a 2-bolt. As far as I know, it's the original engine out of the El Camino. It might not be. Who knows? Clearly, it's been out and been rebuilt at some time in its life. As you can see, it has an orange flywheel, so somebody painted it, probably hanging on an engine hoist. It's really hard to tell. I know it didn't have a camera or anything like that in it. It was really mild. You know, you can see down in there, nice and dirty. It's never had any port work or anything like that done yet. All right. So here's something else I've been pondering. No, that's not a small can of pop. That's a big turbo. So this turbo is a S475. This is originally off of a Greyhound bus. My plan for this thing originally was to put it on my Le Mans. You can see it's been sitting around for quite some time. Big T6 flange. I got a flange on it right there. You know, it spins. It's got a little in and out play, but no up and down, which is a big one you don't want. So, what if, now it's getting a little crazy here, what if we put this on that? Come on guys, somebody's got to comment. How long do you think that small block would last with that just shoving air down its throat? If I remember right, this is a 7695. So big and big, and that's stock 1970s junk. I would do it by just building a blow-through carburetor, seeing how it worked. You know, I want to obviously get the thing running first. Once I get it running, we go from there, not just jump right into turboing the thing. So, yeah, I've had this turbo for quite a while. I bought it with intents of putting on my 5.3 project. But that car is still waiting, and I think by the time I get ready to do that car, I'm going to want something bigger. So, let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in seeing me try to put this S475 on that little small block. See what power it'll make, if any. Yeah, so I guess to give you a quick size comparison, there's an S475 sitting on top of a small block Chevy. They're almost the same size. That thing is huge. I mean, even wide, pretty big. So, I would love to put that thing on there and just see what it would do. I mean, we'd probably only be able to run like 5 pounds or something through it. Still be awesome. 5 pounds is better than no pounds.